It's the same thing with you though. You do the same shit too.
No.
What are you talking about? I'm like, bruh, you could have at least picked it up and taken it up with you.
I
you
actually
fool.
don't see it. The reason why I
How
put
can you
it,
not see it? It's in front of you. Hello, I'm Sam.
and I'm Amelia.
Welcome back to Us Duo Podcast where we aim to build better mindset for better relationships.
Yeah, and this one on relationships, we are going to play We're Not Really Strangers. Be a problem if we're a stranger now because we've been married and we've been together for...
We're fucking strangers, all right.
Nah, shut up. But anyways, so we have a set of cards here and we're going to take turns reading them and then going through the questions. Shall we start, stranger?
Let's go.
Yeah, you do the honors.
Yeah, right. I'll read the question first. So this one is, what lesson took you the longest to unlearn?
I'm still unlearning it as being too nice and trying to cater for people because one good thing, but also bad thing, my toxic trait, is that what you call it? I can definitely feel people's emotions and I like to cater to people and I can really feel those emotions really strongly. So if I can sense that people are disappointed, they're sad, or like they're unhappy about something, even if it's not my problem and it may not be something that I need to help with, I have this sense of duty of wanting to help or wanting to at least give a solution. And I have to remember that I don't always need to do that and to unlearn that and sometimes to just be there and listen and not having to always provide a solution. That's something that I am deeply trying to unlearn.
Good one.
What about you?
So this one, I think I feel that majority of it I have unlearned, but there is maybe a small little dime of it that I still have resonating in my blood, which is
Your bloods, eh?
which I believe it's the empathy thing. Well, not unlearned, sorry. It's more unlearning the fact of being so blunt in the way of how I say things. So like I'm a person that's a straight shooter. So sometimes, in the past, I really struggled with just being blunt, but blunt where I'm not hurting someone's feelings.
So you're unlearning of being too
rough.
Yeah.
And
okay, I can agree. You need to unlearn that.
If you compare me to back a long time ago, I have unlearnt a shit ton of it.
No, but I think in a broader perspective, as rough and straightforward as you are, I think the way that you approach people most of the time isn't actually that rude. I know sometimes if you really are opposed to this person and they are rude, then you're like, hey, you're a dickhead. But most cases you go there and you're like, hey, about this situation, let's talk about it. Like you don't approach it where you're like, you're just a dickhead. Yeah,
and that's what I mean though. Like that took me so long to unlearn because I used to be the complete opposite pre-teens, like 18 that is. So I guess I forced myself to be so out there and loud because I used to be so timid and quiet. So because I forced myself, that was all that I could think of.
So it came a full circle.
Yeah, so I had to do a full fucking Houdini and go, hang on, this is probably maybe a little bit too hard on certain characters. And I know a lot of people may not like confrontation or may not like that type of communication where they go, whoa, hold up, you're being rude or you're being rough on me.
But I think the good thing, this is definitely something that I've seen from you, is that a lot of people appreciate that you've come forward and spoken up about something or confronted something, and in the end people respect you a lot more than to be someone maybe like me that used to not like confrontation and I used to just try and satisfy people or just trying to make things work without really asking like what's a better way to approach this, and that never didn't really make the situation any better on any parties. So that is something that I also had to unlearn, learning from you to confront, and also not just confront, like how to approach people where it gets the problem solved and both parties are happy. It's not like, hey, I don't like this, I want to do it my way. It's just how can we make this better overall?
Yeah. But in saying that, you have unlearnt a fair bit of your softness and timidness. And
I think, to be truthful, I don't think I've unlearned. There was always this part of me deep down that, like, if I was to strip it all back to like who I truly am, there is a part of me where I'm just like, let's just lay this all out. Let's just get it done and like get it sorted. But then it's like over the years when I was young, maybe through school, upbringing, parents, and just people around me, I put this filter on me where like I need to be nice or I need to not confront or I can't offend people. So stripping it all back, I think there was that part of me is like, if I was to be my true self, I am quite straightforward. Like I just want to get things resolved. It's just unlearning the bad habits, I guess, that added on top.
Yeah. Nice, mate. Nice.
Yeah, nice. That was a long one. Anyways, so this one, how would you describe the feeling of being in love in one word? I'm curious to hear this.
In one word.
Oh, is it one word?
How the hell do you describe all that in one word?
Yeah, in one word. So to you, being in love, what does it feel like? Or what do you think it is?
Warmth.
Why warmth?
It's only one word that I need to
No,
explain,
but you
buddy.
need to explain why that
Oh,
word.
I see how it is, eh? Warmth, because the reason why I thought of warmth straight away is when I feel love, I feel comfort. I feel like everything is, when you think deeper, it's more like I feel like I'm at home. And that's what I feel warmth of. And it's just like love is about the warmth to me. Sounds stupid.
I don't feel
doesn't
like
make
you
any
explained anything. You just use warmth in
as-
the sentence.
Well, I'm just, yeah. To me, it's just being cozy, being at home, knowing that I can be comfortable being warm.
So being around these people or the things that you love, you feel at home.
Yeah, like it's just, yeah.
This is why I never get any nice words from him because he can't even explain it. I was going to say something similar, definitely warm, but another word could be wholesome. It's just when you're around the people that you love, the things that you do love, it just completes you. And at that point in time, you just don't feel like anything can go wrong and that it's just, this is your time. This is like perfect. And yeah, really is a hard word to explain.
Just one word, man.
Yeah, I said wholesome.
Yeah, I know. Just one word. It's fucking.
Yeah.
I feel like there's multiple words in
Yeah.
my opinion.
We want to know.
Thank
Let
you
us
very
know
much.
how you would describe love in
Shit.
one word. Please let us know in our DMs.
Yes. What's the most pain you've ever been in that wasn't physical?
Wow. Went from love to pain.
I'm cheating here a little bit, but I feel like there's two moments. One was, actually, let me rephrase this. One that I didn't realize that hurt me the most was when I realized that my dad passed away. I was kind of like young, immature. It didn't really hit me until maybe either 6 months or a year later when I reflected on what the hell happened in, I guess, the year. I think that was probably the worst pain because you realize what's happened, you realize what's changed, what's gone. And you're like, fuck, that was quite a massive impact to me. The second one I would say is my first my first girlfriend. Yeah,
were you like the Eddie Wong in the bed? Till the end.
yeah, pretty much.
of-
Yeah. So you're getting fucking jabbed in the heart with a screwdriver. It's kind of one of those.
Wow, that's definitely deep.
Well, that's visually, that's the best way I can explain it, is getting jabbed in the heart with a screwdriver.
I think my painfulest moments is definitely my younger years. I never really talk about it on the podcast because it is quite a personal thing, but it's just the upbringing, the growing up. It was just painful because I went through a lot of challenges.
Yes, it's a long story, but short story. You went through a lot of things.
And also, like, the nutshell around it all is having divorced parents, living in two different places and going back and forth, and just family things. It's always rough.
Yeah, it's never a good situation to be in, for sure, for a lot of young kids. So
But it taught me a lot. It built me up to who I am today. So
a strong, independent woman.
you don't need no man. Odds of me. What the hell? This is level 2 and it's so deep. What title would you give this chapter in your life? This actually goes so well because we actually recently recorded the plateau episode.
Wait, what's the question again? Sorry?
What title would you give this chapter in your life?
I call this the recalibration phase.
I don't know if this is the best title, but I would say finding the summit. So the summit as in that sunshine that kind of shines behind the mountain, but you have to climb the mountain to find it. And you never know what's up there. You never know what you're going to find and what's going to be involved in that journey. So that's what I would title mine as, because I am climbing this mountain right now to discover my next phase of life or next phase of wherever I'm getting to, and the summit, because there's always something to look forward to. It's always brightness wherever I'm going to. So whatever that is, that's where I'm trying to reach.
Very good explanation.
Explain yours.
Well, the reason why I said recalibration phase is last 14, 15 months. I explained this in the previous episode, the episode of plateauing, but I'll explain it again. Yeah, last 14 months, just coming out of a career that has really drained me mentally and physically. So health is all fucked up. Mentally is all kind of like a little drained.
And also you did end up getting chronic fatigue. So on your journey to re-heal that.
Yeah, so I was just trying to re-heal my body and mind.
Mind, body and soul.
From a career perspective, health and fitness perspective as well. So trying to get back into the gym, make my gains again.
Some people have already noticed your gains. It's a good thing. It's looking good.
Well, until I got sick and I was out for about 6 weeks. So yeah.
Don't worry, gains are coming. Hold still. Oh wait, that's you.
Wait, too keen fucking picking up all these cards, buddy. Oh, okay. So this is a wild card, my friend. And it's
not
saying,
your friend, we're strangers.
Well, a stranger, you've got to press shuffle on your music library and explain the first song that comes up.
Okay, you first.
No, I'm the reader. You do it first.
Yeah. All right, let's see. I'm on my Asian list. Let's see what comes up. Oh, wait. How do I... A UX designer that can't even navigate a Spotify app.
Rookie, mate.
All right, so Rainy Yang MKP remix.
Yeah, so what does that mean to you?
I have no idea. So this... Wait, what does it mean to me?
Yeah, explain the first song that comes up.
Yeah, so this song, the original song, I used to really like this song, and I used to really love watching Taiwanese dramas. So this song was on one of those dramas. And I'm also really into remixes. So there was this song and there was remix. So this is the song. But now that I listen back to it, this is probably a really old song that I haven't listened to for over 5-6 years. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it. Well,
but why did you like it in the first place?
That's what I mean. Like, this original song, I really liked it because I watched it on a Taiwanese drama. And then I also really like remixes. And so this was the fusion of the two. But I don't like this remix. I like the original song still, though. That's the story.
Yeah, good on you.
Also shows how often I refresh and clear out my Spotify, which is never.
I'm going to hit play and then I'm going to hit shuffle and then I'm going to hit next so that it shuffles the whole thing. It has, okay, who the fuck is Masego? What you want to try?
That's your song, I don't know. Is this your playlist?
This is my playlist, but this is a recent song that I added.
Yeah, so what does that song mean to you?
Well, okay, so there's no real explanation for the song because I actually only just recently added this to the playlist. I was actually cleaning the kitchen, and I went through like a random playlist. This tune came up, and I was like, fucking good tunes, brother.
But did you like it for the beat or the?
I like it. I liked it for the beat because it's chill, and the rapping in it is real like relaxed, chill vibe. Yeah. So if you guys don't know what it is, it's Masego. What you want to try?
Cool story, bro. All right, we're going to level 3. Based on what you know about me, do you have any Netflix recommendations?
Yeah. So there's one Netflix I would say, which you're kind of rewatching it at the moment. It's a Korean K-pop. I'm not K-pop, sorry. It's a Korean drama. It's about a girl who is a mermaid. She's a mermaid, but then transitions into a human body.
When she goes on land.
Yeah, and she goes on land and basically tries to experience the human life and eventually falls in love with someone and then wants to become a human and have a life.
I think it's called Legends of the Blue Sea.
So yeah, that's it. I reckon if you guys haven't heard that, check it out because
I'm surprised you didn't say Hotel de Luna because that would always be my top pick.
Nah, you ain't watching it as much as this one though.
No, because I've already rewatched it. I'm rewatching this one because it's good. IU, Hotel de Luna is the best.
Yeah, IU, she's, yeah.
For you, I would pick something documentary. I don't have a specific, but like some sort of ghost hunting, like
Goes hunting.
yeah, ghost hunting like drama. I mean, a drama reality TV show.
Why?
Because you love watching it. You like watching how they do things and like not just like the ghost thriller stuff, but you like to see how they go around, like explore and use those like digital devices to find ghosts. Am I right or am I right?
Well, I wouldn't say you're like right, but yeah, you're getting there.
Yeah, so I am right.
You're getting there. I like documentary stuff, whether it's controversial or like actual factual information. I'm just a random person that likes to watch random shit.
So what would you pick for yourself? You have to name one.
Well, I can't remember the name, but I like that demon one. Remember the one the reality one?
21 days.
21 days or whatever in hell or some shit.
I think it's just 21 days. Because
Okay.
they spend 21 days in an abandoned, haunted place and
Yeah.
they explore.
And it's interesting to see their experiences in terms of true experiences with that stuff, but also the technical background and how they think and their thought process, how they deal with it. It's pretty cool.
Mm.
Check
So,
it out.
I was
Netflix.
right. Wait, is it my turn?
No, it's my turn.
Oh.
What am I most qualified to give advice about?
Cars.
Why cars?
Because you've worked on it, you've been an apprentice and you've been working on it for a long time, but specifically sports or performance cars. I think you have a lot of knowledge on it and a lot of your friends and people who do cars come to you about it. Am I right or am I right? I am right. Well, what would you say you would give advice on then?
Gym is a big thing.
Oh yeah, gym too.
A lot of people come to me about powerlifting.
No, that's
Yeah.
also a good one.
And look, I'm not a high standard powerlifter at all. I just self-taught a lot of things, and I just can understand how the body mechanics move, and just seeing things, I can visually
Self-taught PT.
help people, if that makes sense.
And you're currently helping your nephew, and he's making some great gains. What was that funny? He is.
Yeah,
he's doing great.
Yeah, little dude. He's making some gains. So happy to see his progression. So yeah, man.
So what about me? What am I qualified to give advice on?
I think you're qualified to giving life advice. I think
Any specific life advice?
There's no specific life advice. I think you're a really good person who you can actually sit down and talk to, and whether it's to listen or to actually give feedback, I think you're good at both. You're really good at listening and sort of just giving your 2 cents in if the person wants to hear that 2 cents. Otherwise, yeah, just life in general.
But why do you think why do you think I'm qualified for that though?
I think because you've got a lot of experience in life in all aspects, which has taught you your knowledge, not knowledge specifically being you've experienced that specific thing in life, but you've got experience in life where it helps you understand things holistically from a third person's perspective, but you're quite logical when it comes to breaking down how to approach certain things.
Like logical in terms of seeing all perspectives before I give advice, or like what?
Yeah, I think logical in terms of your feedback. And it's based not on your own personal, it's based on what you see from that person's experience or what they're going through at that moment.
No, I think that's a good one. And I definitely do feel like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I do feel like I do like giving these advice, and not advice and being like, you need to do this. But I think also when people come to me or they have a problem, linking back to that first thing about unlearning is like, I'm always trying to help someone, even though it's not my problem. But I think it's also wanting to understand how things happened, understanding a different point of view, so that I'm not biased just because this person is coming to me with their problem and being like, I hate this, or like, I don't like this person because they did this. I'm always being like, hey, okay, so what did that person say? How did they approach it? And maybe you took it the wrong way. So it's like not a bias response. It's always thinking the bigger picture and helping people see a perspective where, okay, maybe we need to do better ourselves in this point in time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Next.
That was a good one. What do you think I fear the most?
You fucking fear cockroaches, mate.
Nah, apart from those things, what, like maybe a life or like...
Okay, so I think health is the big thing that you fear. I don't mean the upfront health things like, oh, you're getting sick or, flu and shit like that. I mean like actually looking deeper into like cancer or looking deep into like all these,
There's
diseases.
actually a phobia. There's a name for it. I forgot the name for it, but I think I do have that phobia. So there's a phobia of getting sick, which is true, but I don't think that's my deepest fear. I think if I really wanted to think about it all, I think my deepest fear is feeling unworthy. I mean, yeah, feeling that I am unworthy and I have no knowledge to share, and that leads to being unwanted. And I think that's my biggest fear. So if no one came to me, no one wanted my expertise, or people are saying that like you're not knowledgeable, I think that's my biggest fear. And that's why I always strive to learn the most. And I mean, not learn the most, learn more, continue to grow, just so that I can share things around. And it's not for my benefit. I think it's just great to share knowledge with other people. And that way we can all interchange knowledge and share and learn more from each other.
Silly, because no, you're not unwanted, mate. You're definitely not unwanted.
That's very nice to hear. So what do you fear the most? I would say something similar, but I think you really treasure connections. So fearing that you don't have people around you that you can rely on, or people that you can't go to. I think that would be a fear.
That's actually a good one, hey? I've never really thought about this deeply, but I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, because my dad always taught me to always have people to ride or die with you, and there's always a specific type of people, because that's just, I guess, his mindset at that time.
Yeah, like the tight niche group.
Yeah, because my dad always had a group of brothers who he always relied on, and it was always family, and everything was around that or surrounding that. So he always taught me to basically say, look, anywhere you go, always take your boys, your specific ones who that you can rely on, ride or die. You call them, it's ready to go. Always have that. And I think I've always applied that throughout life, even to this day.
So if you had none of that, do you think that would be your biggest fear?
Yeah, I definitely think so, because friendships holistically is important in life, I feel personally. And without those connections and without those, journeys and experiences that you go through with these people, fuck, man, like
you have nothing.
You have nothing. You'd be lonely and stuff like that. So that's why it's really important, and I always harp on about friendships. You really need them, hey? As much as life gets harder and harder.
Quality friendships too.
Yeah, quality friendships, that is. Yeah, as hard as it is, as life progresses, we get busier and things like that, but we've got to still have those guys there to, hang around and be around. It's important. What do I need to hear right now?
As Thomas from Friends Next Door says, you're doing great.
Good old Thomas.
No, but I really do think it's like you are doing great, because I think as much as we both say that we're stagnant, like we're plateauing, as we said in our previous episode, I think at the same time, you're doing a lot. You're doing all that you can at this point in time, and also just coming off the back of your old job, just resting and recalibrating. You're doing great.
Yeah, see, I feel like I'm not doing good enough.
Yeah, but that's why I think it's to hear that from people, because I think we as human beings, we always feel like we're not doing good enough, especially feeling or seeing that everyone's always trying so hard, and social media posting like all the great achievements that everyone's doing, especially now the blog of LinkedIn, everyone's like posting all the great stuff that they're doing in their career. We as individuals can sometimes feel like we're not doing enough, but I think we all are. Like, as long as you're doing your best and you're trying your best to do whatever you're trying to achieve, you are doing great.
Yeah, we hold ourselves to high expectations. So I think sometimes we don't really realize the fuck's going around us. So yeah, maybe that's something that I need to hear. Probably not just you, but other people to say, mate, you're doing a fucking good job.
We're all doing great. All of you are doing a great job.
Yeah. And for you, I would say the same thing, to be honest, because we kind of are going in the same, I won't say the same trajectory, but what you're trying to achieve in your life, career and individual, as well as a couple, I think you're doing good. I think you're doing great. Yes, there are things that are roadblocks. There are things that are maybe stagnant or plateauing, but you are doing a lot. And when I look at you balance a lot of shit. Like, you're doing a lot in your own capacity, in your own space. I can't perform like that, but I know that you can, and I've seen you do your thing, and fucking hats off to you. You're doing a fucking amazing job. Keep punching along. fuck the haters. We love ya.
We or you?
Me.
Very nice, very nice.
What do you think my superpower is?
I honestly feel like you have a really good superpower in making great. So this comes off the back of you being confronting and very straightforward. You have a really great way of having conversations where if things need to be sorted, you have a good superpower in not offending people, but get things done and get things sorted, but also get a really good understanding of why people feel the way that they feel in this problem or this challenge or this thing that you need to fix. And not only do you help the situation, but you also make the other person feel heard. So I think you have really good superpower of that because not everyone have that ability on communication in that way.
It's different to hear it from someone else. And I would say, yeah, that's probably could be true. I guess I'm just a person that likes to, I'm humble in that fact of not to toot my own fucking horn.
Toot toot.
But I like to consider everyone. And if it's making changes to something or implementing something, especially if you're coming in fresh, you don't want to fucking, write off everyone's experiences or whatever it is. So to me, you've got to give people the respect to be like, hey,
Yeah.
I want to hear you out, man. Like,
And it's not saying that like other people don't have the capabilities or people are bad at doing this or that, but it's like there's a problem or there's a situation or there's like a speed bump. And sometimes people who approach this problem, either they're really good at listening, good at hearing people out, but then the problem doesn't get solved, nothing moves to the next point. Or someone's very straightforward and then people get hurt or people don't feel heard. But you have this power where you can equally make people feel heard. Problem moves on, like where there's like it just keeps the ball rolling where the purpose, like there's action being taken so that you can move to the next point. Plus, you're also being straightforward. So everyone has an equal understanding of what's going on and what we need to do right now.
yeah, I just hate being put in the middle of certain situations. So sometimes, you can't help everyone, and some people will get offended. Some people, like I've found out that someone is still upset about something I thought that we worked over professionally, but it seems like, whatever that had happened in the past, it is what it is. But
yeah, but sometimes you just got to remember, well, all of us, we need to remember you can't control other people's feelings. The best you can do is really make them feel heard. And if some people don't understand or don't align or don't speak in the same wavelength, you can't really help that. You can only do so much.
yeah, of course, it's harder when you find out you've been talking good and then, they happen. So anyway, superpowers for you, my friend. I think your superpower is your ability to get in there, listen, and get shit done. So let me tie that in. So if you had a task and you were assigned a task, you will take that motherfucker by the horns and you'd be like, all right, let's get this shit done. And you'll ride that motherfucker until it is done and you get it done fucking at 150%.
That is true because I don't know why. It's like if I have something, or especially if I'm assigned something like this is your job, this is what we need to be done. I just have this big sense of like diligence or like responsibility. And I think this sometimes is my biggest downfall as well. I think I take people's words seriously, like when someone, especially when it's a task. There's a lot of people that I've met or seen in my life where like they're like, oh, it's fine, like we can do it another time or whatever. But this task was actually set for a certain time period, or like someone mentioned words like this is really important. And I really pick up on that word important. So I'm like, okay, I need to get it done. And I have gotten words from colleagues where they're like, you are the most diligent person I've ever met in my life. And I love your sense of responsibility. And I do agree that is great. Like I do feel like I need to get things done. But at the same time, along with everything, again, with that unlearning part, sometimes I take a lot of things on board and it tires me out.
Yes.
Not that I tire out really easily, but taking all of these on all at once sometimes can get tiring.
Yeah, and I guess from my perspective, I'm talking like what I just mentioned is from a perspective of a stranger. For you guys who don't know, we used to work with each other. So I'm just dialing it from that perspective. I've seen you work and you are probably one of the hardest working motherfucker I've ever fucking seen or met. Like, I really do appreciate you in terms of how hard, how much power you have when it comes to doing what you need to get done.
This is a really nice episode. Tell me more. I don't get these compliments that often. So.
Next question.
Very nice. What do you think my weakness is? So the other end of the spectrum.
Okay. I think your weakness, you summed it up pretty well. I think sometimes you're maybe a little too nice, though not as apparent as what it used to be. Back then, you were way too nice for your own good, and it fucked you up because people took advantage of it, shit like that. But you have unlearned a lot of it.
Just boundaries, I guess.
Yeah, and it's just like you said, setting the boundaries and really putting that, hey, this is for this time and this is for that time. And I can see a little bit of those parts where you don't set those boundaries enough, or you don't take action on certain things at that point in time. So what I mean by that is if someone checked you and you're like, well, hold up, blah, 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 you don't check them back. And I think
that is my weakness that I'm still trying to learn.
I think that's your biggest weakness is really just that, to be honest. It's just when someone comes at you and you're like, whoa, it gets you by surprise and you kind of just maybe freeze up a little bit or you don't know what to say.
Yeah, and most of the time the reason why I freeze up or I don't say anything is linking back to the whole thing that we've been saying the whole episode is being too nice and being so considerate. And my first thought is like, should I say this or am I just overreacting? Because you know how sometimes when you act on emotion and say you got really pissed off and you yelled at someone, then you think back and you're like, oh, I probably shouldn't have yelled at someone. So my thoughts are like, should I be angry? Should I be sad? Should I be disappointed? Am I meant to be saying this? And these are my thoughts. And by going through all these thoughts, I've missed my opportunity to speak up because I'm thinking and considering the situation. Like, is this the right thing to do?
Yeah, it's been hard on, like, I guess from a third person perspective when you're there and you see it happen and you're just like, what the like it gets a little disheartening for me because then I want to step in and be like, check that motherfucker, but I can't because I know it's not my place to check. It's yours, but
I guess it's a bit of social cues in that manner is that I'm still trying to learn some of those social cues. I think for you, because you've gone through so many different types of groups of friends or different types of groups of people, so you have experience and you have trialed and errored your timing of when to respond and when not to respond. Whereas in my case, my whole entire life, most of the time, I haven't responded. So that is my main response mechanism. So the social cues in terms of responding too fast or too early or too late, I'm still learning that.
Nice.
And your weakness, I think...
I have a lot.
No, I think your weakness is just expressing your emotions. I think that's definitely a weakness. Like, I wouldn't say it's like a really bad weakness. There are times where you can express, like you're really good at communicating when you really need to. But then in a lot of times, either if you're feeling a challenge, you will most likely keep it to yourself unless it's like really bad or like it's gotten to a point where you want to share it. Or at the same time, expressing your emotions in terms of like our relationships and you expressing something to like with words, like words of affirmation sort of type of emotion. You don't really share much of that. So I think that's a weakness.
Yeah, you fucking hit the nail on the head there, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
I definitely do struggle with that. I think it's kind of an upbringing thing. Just not guys shouldn't really be showing this and that.
Well, I think in general in the Asian culture, guy or girl, we don't share emotions enough.
Yeah.
And that was definitely me back in the past, but I've learnt a lot to open up. And
yeah, I think I trained myself to do the opposite. And it's kind of weird because it's kind of like a double-edged sword because I can communicate when it comes to outside of relationship stuff. I don't know how to check and reply anytime, whatever it is. But when it comes to like my own personal love, deep down shit that
the
actually
mushy stuff,
the stuff that I really care about, I can't. Like I struggle. So I think that's definitely my weakness there. All right. Why do you think we met?
That's a
cool one.
Really interesting question because if you think about it, like people don't know this behind the scenes and maybe you have heard our How We Met episode, but behind the scenes is I used to live in Canberra And I actually wasn't even meant to be in Brisbane. I was actually just going to live in Canberra, go to uni there, go to high school there. But my mom asked me to move up, so I did. It was like a spontaneous, sporadic, whatever you call it, moment. And I was like, yeah, okay, let's just move up and see how it is. So to think about if I said no or if I wasn't allowed to move up, I probably would not even be in Brisbane and I wouldn't have met you. So that's a crazy thing to me. And then the second point is in our how we met episode, I met you actually through a friend. Well, it wasn't even a friend. It was a guy that chatted to me online, Bebo, back in the days. And he was a friend of someone that I knew that was moving because I was moving schools. And he was like, I was talking to him for a bit and then we were like talking for a good few weeks and chatting every day, like good friends kind of chat, just like, when you're in high school. And it was like, hey, I'm going to go to this shopping center. I'm going to have some friends there. Did you want to hang? And it was Christmas holidays. And I was like, what am I going to do? Like, yeah, okay, let's go see what this is all about. I'm like down to hang. And I went and that's how I met you. And to think that if I was a person that was like no or like worried or overthinking the situation and I wasn't down to hang out, would have never met you either. So all these occasions that had led me to meeting you, to me on my end, I think it's crazy how it all happened.
Nice.
In terms of why we met, I don't know. Let's just say that fate or whatever you call it, destiny, maybe that's why.
Man. But I know that a lot of people who knew us back then definitely were like, we were meant to be together because we always, I don't know, it kind of felt like we were like really good friends even though I fucking didn't even know you. So it's strange. It's kind of like we kind of knew each other when we first met and we always had that conversation. We had that rapport. It was just like natural thing. I guess from my perspective, I never really thought about it too much. I just thought that, you're just a friend. And for me at the time, I was really focused on trying to socialize. That was my transitioning period from high school into the teens. So I was going through a lot of things at that time. So from my perspective, it was just really, I was just trying to be friends, trying to meet people.
But why do you think we met?
If it wasn't for my friend at the time, I don't even think I would have met you because how he proposed it to me, he was just like, hey, you should meet my friend. She's pretty gangster. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. I'm down. Cool. Let's do it. And that's how it happened. And I think if I wasn't social at that time and I was forcing myself to be socialist, like social, same case as you, I probably wouldn't have met you.
We would have been two strangers on the street.
That's right. I would have been.
We're actually strangers.
Yeah, I would have been with someone else.
Yeah. But I think it's just crazy. Thankful for this friend who brought us together and goes to show that sometimes saying yes does make great changes. Like just being down to try something out, try something new, get out of your comfort zone, and you might meet a special person.
That's it, man. How would you describe me to a stranger? So if you had to be my wingman and there's a chick that I really want, how would you describe me to this stranger? A pretty young thing.
You want to be pretty?
No, this chick you're trying to wingman me to, a pretty young thing.
I would say that you're a pretty chilled, laid-back person. You can be funny, but at the same time, you know how to take things seriously if you really want to have those moments where you want someone to listen to you, someone to talk to you. Pretty cool dude, good all-rounder, but can also be pretty rough and straightforward.
That's it.
Is that accurate?
I guess so. Well, I don't know. But I do have, like, for an example, I met up with an old colleague from my previous job that I just left. And she said to me the same thing. She's like, hey, I've never had anyone that comes into the business that I actually talk to who is as chill as you and down to like do things. So she was just like, I miss you, just to get coffee and things like that.
How cute.
Miss her too, mate. Now for you, wait, let me reread the question real quick. Okay. I think you're quite cute, quite bubbly. I think you've got energy. You're high energy at times.
More energy, more passion.
Yeah. So I think a good way to explain someone to a random is, if they know their dogs, is you're kind of like a border collie / corgi. So you have
don't
energy.
know if I should be offended.
Yeah, you're cute, but you've got energy, you're loyal, you know how to get shit done, you're smart because border collies are quite smart. They're quite chill as well. Same thing with corgis to some extent.
I don't know if corgis get shit done. They just leave shit around
Well,
and leave and forget about you.
Yeah, sometimes. Well, okay, most times, but still, I think you know if you need someone to really rely on and to get stuff like done, that's a good way to explain is you. But also at the same time, to flip it is from a love perspective, you're someone that would always put them at the forefront of your mind. Above yours, which can be a downfall at times because you're not looking after yourself sometimes because of that. Not all the time, but the small occasions, yeah, you do that. But yeah, man, all around.
It's a very long elevated pitch to someone who wants to get to know me. So,
hey, man,
elevator pitch of me.
That's a long version because I'm trying to sell you well, mate. That's why.
Nice, but short version.
Just think of a doggy.
Well, at least I'm not a fish, because that time when there was a question, what is my spirit animal, and you called me a fish.
Oh, yeah. Fish.
What about me is the hardest for you to understand? I have a good one.
What about you is hardest for me to understand? How weird you are at times?
I can agree to that.
Yeah, like to give you an example, we'll be sitting on the couch watching fucking K-drama. She'll lie there and she'll put her leg up against the fucking headrest and then flick her feet around. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's just like, yeah, I'm just chilling.
No, it's called stretching. But anyways, for you, I really can't understand. So there's a few occasions. Why? So if you're putting bowls away or when you're stacking things should go from like biggest to smallest, but you would just put whatever on top, like whether it's big, small, large, fat, thin, skinny, tall, whatever. So it's kind of like you're building those barley stones, you know, the stones that people build.
It's called fucking sandcastles, mate.
No, but you would just put it on top. And then the other thing is like we have a laundry basket. We have 2 levels. So you have to come downstairs to wash the laundry basket. And you'll bring the laundry basket back upstairs. And the stairs is right next to our main room. But you put it at the door of our room where it takes like 2 more steps to go into our bathroom, but you just leave it at the door. So it's like you could have just walked 2 more steps to just put it in there, but no, it has to be at the door.
It's the same thing with you though. You do the same shit too.
No,
what are you talking about?
I don't put it at the door.
So sometimes she'll wash it. She'll wash the clothes and then she'll have the basket like right at the hallway. And then when she goes back up to upstairs, she'll walk around the freaking thing and go up. I'm like, bruh, you could have at least picked it up and taken it up with you.
I actually don't see it. The reason why I
How
put
can
it,
you not see it? It's in front of you.
No, the reason why I put it where it obstructs my walkway is because if it doesn't obstruct me, I will actually not see it.
Yeah, see? How can you not see it? It's like right in front of you.
No, but yeah, so I obstruct it. But at the same time, even though I obstruct my own walkway or pathway, I still won't see it and I'll make my own path around it and walk away.
Yeah, she'll walk around it and then, go up. And it's not just the basket thing. There's plenty of other things. But yeah, you get what I'm trying to get at anyway.
It's funny.
Next question. What answer of mine made you light up?
I think all the nice comments that you said about me that I rarely ever hear. That's why I said this is a nice episode, because this is a rare occasion. I'm going to save this episode for myself so I can hear your compliments.
Very nice.
Bobby?
I think it's nice to hear someone to say, hey, you're doing well. I think from a guy's perspective, especially for me, I don't hear anyone say that to me, even guys. So I think from a male's perspective, you fellas are listening. I don't know if you have the same thing, but I never get complimented as much or ever by people.
Not even your managers or like other people?
Not really, unless I did something.
It's all right. We'll get Thomas to compliment you. You're doing great.
Well. Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. Final one. What do you think is the hardest part of what I do for a living?
That's pretty fucking complex if you don't know what you do. All right. So she's a UX UI designer. And the problem I find that a number of things, I think it's hard to have the creative freedom and to sell that creativeness to certain peers or colleagues and managers who don't understand the foundation or the core of it. So it's kind of like you're trying to sell the differences between milk. You come up with milk that is maybe natural milk, but you've got a named milk that is not as good for you. and you're coming in as a newbie trying to sell the differences between the two and the benefits. And I think it's very hard to face something that is already well known or people think is the best for them when really this small newbie is better for you.
I don't think I'd describe it as that. I think because UX, UI, or even UX, any of that realm, I think it's still quite new in Australia. It's very broad. It's so broad, but it's starting to be broken up into smaller departments, but that's still all very new because all of this is technically part of tech or part of the new technology and all that stuff that's happening in the world, especially in design. And because it's so new, and bigger businesses who are now evolving into bigger businesses as well, they are still learning this department or this industry. So it's hard to explain things to people who aren't exposed to it or who don't have much of an understanding of it. And the hardest part, and it is part of my job, is to explain and educate and teach people about it. But it's also hard because as a business, they've got so many things to focus on, and something that they haven't considered before will be hard to be a priority or of importance to some people. And I think it's also hard because I think in any creative industry, the hardest part is just trying to make your work stand out because everything's so competitive, everything's so subjective in terms of preference, in terms of how you do things. And there's a lot of work that you have to put into it in any creative industry. So normal jobs, you have a resume. In creative fields, you have a portfolio, whether that's like singing, writing, music, designing. You need a portfolio. So that's the extra work that you got to put on top of it. And working a full-time job and trying to do that, it's a hard thing to do. So for you, hardest part of what you do for a living, so you're a broker and also what is it, operation management? I think it's just similar, trying to get people to understand why they need certain things in a business, especially now that you're trying to build processes. And sometimes people don't see things. They could be on an old system, old technology, and trying to get people to see the value in moving into a newer technology, newer system to help move the business forward. That's the hard part. I'm dealing with people as well.
Yeah, that's only one part. I think the other part is when it comes to being in finance, it's very difficult to make people move and provide the information that you need to conduct an assessment on whatever they're trying to look for. And I think a lot of people don't realize the type of work that goes into doing that preliminary work. They think that just verbal confirmation is sufficient, whereas in the space that I work in, it's highly regulated. There's a lot of rules and regulations and things like that. So we need to verify that information. A lot of clients don't seem to, I guess, care or give a shit about that or understand that.
It's just not a sense of importance, I guess.
It's just not, well, yeah, it's not a sense of importance because they just more so two factors. If it's you're saving me money or just get shit done. And they just don't realize what's involved in the work.
I think going off the back of that back into the creative industry, I think the other thing that's the hardest part of doing what I do for a living, and not just me, anyone in this creative industry, is making people see the value in the work that you do, especially now with a lot of things where people, there's AI that can create logos, create branding, create content for you. I think the value has diminished a lot more even after this because people like, I can just do it online. I can just get AI to do it. I can get ChatGPT to write me something. But the thing is, there is value in the creative industry and there is value in getting something that's custom tailored from someone, a person who can actually listen to your creative problems and create something that's tailored for you and your business and make it for longevity, not just a quick fix. That's the hardest part, is selling and making people see the value and why they should invest, not spend, invest in doing these things.
You fucking tell them that.
But I think it's the same for you. Like any industry, it's just seeing the value in why you seek out these professional people for in the first place.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, there are some ignorant people out there, which it is
not
what
always
it is.
Ignorant. It's just people have the lack of understanding.
But then at the same time, some of them just don't want to listen and be educated. Yeah, anyway, this was a very in-depth game of questions of we aren't really strangers. So I hope you guys enjoyed our little episode that's a little bit different.
Yeah, and Hope you learnt a little bit more about us. I've learnt a lot about myself through you, and I hope you did as well. And if you've ever played this game, let us know.
Yeah. Or if you are keen to try it, give it a crack. There are a lot more questions. We've only just got like a small, tiny bit of it.
Not sponsored, but please sponsor us. We're not really strangers.
Yes, we love these type of games. So if you guys have any other recommendations on games, let us know in the DMs because we would love to give it a crack. And likewise, thank you again, guys, for joining us, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Peace.